Hi, I'm Sunil. I've been doing software development for the last 15 years at companies like Infosys and Goldman Sachs. 2 years back, three of us got together, myself, Avinash Karan and Sridhar Dhulipala. And we're thinking about what we can do in the space of software development. How do you simplify things while developing software? And that's how we ended up actually starting Bizosys with the objective of simplifying software development. At Bizosys Technologies, we develop software products. And the current product that we're working with is 10 Screens, a simulation product for software products. So the question is, why do you have to simulate software products themselves? If you take any software product, when they go to the customer always has this question in, can we add this extra functionality or can we change the existing functionality? And the product sales team typically says that, yeah, it is possible. So there are two ways to do that. Either they show them that it's possible, or they actually can show some previous implementation, or they go back and change the existing product to actually show that it actually can be done. But with 10 screens, all of this can actually be simulated, and the product sales team can actually show it demo tailored, very specific to that customer's needs. And all this can be done without any additional coding and just by using a drag and drop editor. So in effect, 10 screens is like a PowerPoint to simulate software products itself. Yeah, the technologies that we use are primarily Flex and Java, and we've been using Flex right from 2 years back when we initially started the product development itself. The reason we primarily use Flex is because you can develop very rich internet applications, the RAAs, so to speak, very easily, and that's the primary reason why we use Flex. But it also the ability to reuse the code is quite high with Flex, almost like any other object-oriented language, and that's the second reason why we actually use it. Flex essentially enables us to reuse code a lot better than any other UI technologies, and also that it helps us develop rich internet applications with quite a bit of ease. The other thing is about how you can separate the UI logic into Flex and keep the business logic on the server, and the server does not need to handle any of the UI logic as such. What it actually helps us is it helps us to build very, very performant UIs, but at the same time also give a lot of performance and scalability on the server side as well. People typically look at Flex as just a UI technology, but the added bonus is that the server also becomes a lot more scalable in the process, and these are the primary reasons why we use Flex. Yeah. With the proliferation of smartphones and tablets, it's inevitable that even enterprise software has to be available on these devices. The tablets are becoming almost like the choice of device when you go to meetings and wherever people have to be mobile. But at the same time, you need a form factor which is good enough to share with other people. And it's the same case for 10 screens as well, that we have to be able to support 10 screens primarily on tablets at least. And also with 10 screens, when you're simulating mobile applications, it always makes more sense to see the simulated application on a mobile device, so you get a real a good idea of how it actually works. So in that sense, mobile applications are very, very important to even enterprise software product like us. With an enterprise product like 10 screens, it's very important for us to be able to develop in the browser, which is pretty much given that you can do it with Flex, but also it gives us the added bonus of developing a desktop version of it, which is also quite useful in an enterprise scenario where they can actually work with the product offline. And also we need to be able to develop it for mobile platforms as well. The advantage that we primarily get with Flex is we can achieve all these three versions of the software with almost a very single code base. And that's very important for us because otherwise we end up maintaining 3 different versions of code base and a product development becomes really costly, and it's going to be very hard to maintain keeping all of them in sync. So Flex essentially, we use the same code base to develop across the desktop, browser, and mobile devices. I think as HTML5 is coming through and is being started to get supported in a lot of browsers, the one thing that I'm really kicked about is actually IndexedDB, which is offline storage right in the browser. It's got a lot of applications when applications can store data offline and can be used even when they're not connected to the server. A very good example is like Gmail, where the emails can be even accessed offline when you're not connected to the server. And I think it's going to open a lot of opportunities for applications to leverage this particular factor, because it's going to make the applications a lot more responsive, and they can actually hold a lot more data, so to give a better and a richer user experience. Yeah. Enterprise software, unlike consumer software, also has to cater a lot to the needs and requirements of the enterprises. Supporting their platforms and their devices becomes quite important. So in that sense, technology choice becomes a lot more important when developing enterprise software. The choice of technology primarily for the UI as well as server becomes a lot more important. So in that case, you choosing either Flex or any other rich technology gives you an added advantage of supporting variety of devices using the same code base.